I'd like to welcome everybody to the regular town board meeting for December 28th. This will be totally by a Zoom meeting. I want to remind everybody that the Town of Lewiston's page on Facebook has a Facebook Live video of the meeting as well. Sometimes that can be a little bit easier to follow. And I ask everybody to please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, I'll ask everybody to please turn off their cell phones and electronic devices. And I'll ask for a moment of silent reflection, please. Thank you very much. I'm sorry, go ahead, Bill, you were cut off.
I said special consideration for final books and former legislative report.
Yes, and it passed away recently. The agenda approval. Do you have anything to add?
Well, I'll probably lots of things that was kind of things, but I want to make sure that they're not covered when I get to my latest report of the senior center services and two items.
Okay.
Do you have to repeat everything they say?
He is,
Second.
we have a motion and a second. Al Back's motion, John Jacoby second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Did Bill guys
Carried.
add something?
He added, if Melinda doesn't do it under department head, he wanted to do 2 senior center items under his, but I believe that'll be taken care of by Melinda. I'll turn this up a little bit. Bear with me.
Is she on Zoom also?
I believe so. Resident statements. We have nobody that has signed up. Jennifer, if you could unmute everybody, and I will ask if there's any residents out there that would like to speak. So anybody who's muted, if you can unmute yourself. Okay, I'll ask one more time just to make clear. If anybody would like to speak, unmute themselves and go ahead and say your name. Okay, now moving on, we'll go to department head statements. We'll start in the room here with Donna.
I did submit a letter to allow Carol Schroeder to carry over 3 of her vacation days due to the abstract and employees being gone for COVID, but it's my understanding it's in their contract, so it doesn't need to be approved by the town board.
Okay. Anything else? Well, go ahead.
Just move to acknowledge that request.
Okay.
Second.
Yeah, he just moved it to the garage, that's all. Just so everybody knows, John Jacoby is here in the boardroom. Bill Guyben, Jason Myers, and Al Bax are all on Zoom. Tom Siemens here, Ian Zano's here, Bill Conrad's here, Donna Garfinkel, Linda Johnson, and Ed Zimmer, just to clarify that for the record. Bill, anything? Conrad?
No, nothing.
Nothing. Dan, anything?
Nope.
Nothing from Dan Zano. Ed, anything from the buildings department?
I believe Tim's on the meeting. Is he on?
Okay. Tim, are you there?
I am here. We were hoping to have the fee schedule updated for tonight, but we did not get that done, so it'll have to be the next meeting.
Okay. Okay. Linda Johnson.
Just basically what I asked to have put on the agenda. Mario Como signed the order
we have a resolution here. Tom, did you get a chance to go over that resolution? You wrote the resolution, correct?
Yeah, I think you can hear me without me turning my mic on. I wrote the resolution based off of Governor Cuomo's executive order and what Linda has submitted to the board. It's pretty straightforward. It's allowing basically for certain tax exemptions, the STAR exemption and the
Senior low income
senior low income
and
exemption.
disability. Right, it's to allow them for safety during COVID. We have a trail of over 150 people coming in every year that we have to actually sit with.
Yeah.
They're all seniors. There's
Yeah.
only a few disabilities.
So what Linda was saying is that this will allow seniors not to come into the building, and it will just renew what they did last year,
Right.
and that was an executive order from the governor. I know some of you can't hear, so and we have a proposal here, a resolution.
Make the motion.
Go ahead.
Sorry. I'm ready to make the motion if you're ready.
Go ahead.
Move to approve the resolution as presented by our attorney, Tom Seaman, in regards to the request of Linda Johnson, allowing the seniors to renew their benefits by mail, or by phone, Linda, or mail?
Actually, they're not going to do it by phone or mail, only new ones. They're going to accept their last year renewals.
Okay, there's nothing but Bill that they'll need to do, only new ones.
Okay,
Okay, we have a motion. John Jacoby seconded. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Is that it, Linda?
Yep, that's it.
Okay. Now I'm gonna see who else is on here. Melinda Olick, are you on here?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, I'm gonna turn it over to Melinda Olick from the Senior Center.
Okay, I submitted a letter, asking for an extension on the residency requirement. I submitted that to the board. I'd like you to consider that.
Okay, I want to say something on that. When we hired Melinda, we had this conversation, and we knew it was going to be a daunting task because Melinda obviously has some needs in a home, and as we know, Lewiston's a hard place to find property right now. So I would ask that we make the motion to extend a 6-month, give a 6-month extension till July 1st for Melinda and her family to move into the town of Lewiston.
that's your move, I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Opposed? I just want to bring something up with that too, because that's one of the problems I've found with Lewiston right now is houses are selling in a day or two, or they don't even make the market. So I think as a board, I believe we're the only town in Niagara County that has a residency requirement. So I'm not asking for any type of a motion or anything tonight. I just want everybody to think about that. We require everybody who's a town employee full-time to live in the town of Lewiston. The only situation that Lewiston or Porter is if you work for the sewer district. So I would just like to put that out there and think hard about how we may want to change it. But we are the only town in Niagara County that has that residency requirement.
And you're referring to full-time.
Full-time employees, yeah, full-time employees. Does anybody else have any thoughts on that?
Steve, are you looking to try to move forward and change
You know, I've
that?
always been a fan of having,
Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I've always been a fan of having the best person for the job, you know, God forbid we have someone who is a great fit for the town that is outside of the borders of the town, and we're unable to hire them for that. I think it makes it rather daunting. I think we could put a preference in our selection process for residents over individuals who live outside of the town, but I don't think it should be an exclusion.
Okay. Anybody else? Go ahead, Linda.
So we're moving forward to changing that.
Well, not at this time. I mean, it's something I want to put out there. It could be, if the
Okay.
board, I wanna plant that seed and let the board decide, this is the first time I've really brought it up, and this is the first situation that it's come into, but I know of at least 2 other workers who moved into the town and were really pressed to get here to find something in the town, and, it may make it a little bit easier.
Yeah,
So-
and obviously, right now, it's extremely difficult.
Right,
With what's
right.
going on,
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
Linda was just, with her real estate experience as well, was just, concurring with, the difficulty in finding a location here in town.
Mhm.
So, let's see here, department head statements. Jeff Ritter, I know you're on.
Oh, I had one more.
Oh, I'm sorry, Melinda, yeah, I forgot, I'm sorry.
Thank you very much, everyone. Also, I emailed the board close to the end of the day. I developed a form, a request for use of the senior center. Where a lot of different, like the Riverwalk Association and some of Mr. Guyton's bicentennial group and some other things are meeting at the center. So I tweaked a form that Donna had so that when people want to use the center, we can have them fill this form out so that way we have more information. And I would just like everyone to consider that and check it out and give me their feedback on that.
Yeah, Melinda, Bill and I talked today, the one thing on there, and I know we had talked about it, is that I'd like to see on there is the amount of people, especially during this COVID issue, is having the amount of people that you plan on having attend. But, I think it's a good form. I know, Donna keeps a calendar for the courtroom here. I don't think Donna would require a form, but they have to request.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they have to request, so, no, I think it's a good move in the right direction, and I'd like to, as we've told Melinda before, Bill and I'd like to see the building used more. It's a nice building, it could be used at night for meetings and things like that, or some activities, some nighttime activities, so it's something I definitely think, can be an asset, to the community.
Yeah.
And
And it's been working out really well for the things we've been having in the evening, so it's been going well.
yeah.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Do we limit that to municipal groups or quasi-municipal groups, or is it just the public at large?
We don't really have this is the first time that people have used it, like the Greenway used it for their Lower River Road bike path to show that to the citizens. The Land Conservancy used it. The Army Corps Engineers used it for the Low site. Riverwalk is not a government entity. It's Melinda, correct me if I'm wrong, it's just their community.
So the neighborhood group, it seems like to me.
Yeah. And if Melinda's, open to letting them use it, I'm certainly not against it. I mean, obviously it's got to meet Melinda's schedule because it's usually at night, but, she's there later in the day. Most of the seniors are gone. It could be late afternoon sometimes too. So I think the form's a step in the right direction.
If I may,
Go ahead.
Melinda, I think you need to tweak it a little bit. As Steve said, the number of participants, but you also should say how many staff members would be required. You need to be very specific as to what time will this group be showing up. If you say your meeting is from 6 to 8, are you going to be there at 5:30 or 5:45? Because we have to have staff there. We want our staff usage to match what our needs are. And also, what is the anticipated closure time? Plus, how much of the building is going to be needed? Now, obviously, the washrooms and the drinking fountain, that's all understood. But do they want a small room in the back? Do they want half of the main room? Do they need the whole room? But we have to keep it under the COVID guidelines for numbers right now. And I commend you for being proactive on that and reaching out to the county for some guidance. It's our decision to make, but it's always nicer when the county gives you some guidance and even the state. So we're trying to keep it around 25. Is that it, Melinda?
Yes, 25, including staff. I mean, plus staff. Because we have.
Right, but you're not going to turn away anyone who comes to the Center for Nourishment. So
No, but we're just trying to not, we just want to keep everybody safe. So we're really trying to keep it down. I think having the big groups of 50 people plus is not a good idea right now.
And Bill,
with the COVID situation.
Yeah,
Obviously, in the future, it would be wonderful, but for right now, I think we need to curtail it. We have less than 25 that are a core group of people that come in for the Niagara County Nutrition Program. In fact, most days it's 12 to 15. So I feel that it's probably best to limit it to 25 because those 15 are the main group that come in on a daily basis. So, and you know, with virus load and all the stuff that's out there, we're all used to each other's germs. When you bring in, and I don't know how much of this is real, but when you bring in those extra 25 people, there's more chance for there being an issue.
yeah, and as Melinda and I talked about, we want to protect our most vulnerable in town here, so thank you, Melinda. And as far as, go ahead, John.
Yeah, the only thing I want to say, Melinda, is if you're going to start using the form, you have to use it uniformly. Everyone who wants to use the building has to use the form.
Yeah, we will, definitely.
I had some inquiries today about the form, and people didn't quite understand it, you know, but it's not a big deal. Thanks, Melinda.
Yeah. No, just for clarification, because it actually came about because we had a group that came in, and I was told that they were going to go to Zoom with one of the groups that came in monthly, and then they actually showed up after we were told or under the impression they were going to Zoom. So I just thought if we have this in place, then we know exactly, you know, luckily we were able to take care of it. Our cleaning guy was there, he let us in, but it could have been a bad situation. But now we've got it all up, so.
Okay, thanks, Melinda.
It's time to be proactive.
Okay, thank you, Melinda.
One more comment, Mike, I want to just clarify my point. It's just in the event that we have, for example, the Boy Scouts that want to use the facility for one night, and then maybe, the Historical Association. We may have, it's a beautiful facility for people that have to throw, or have these meetings. I would just be concerned if Melinda would have staff busy in the evenings, or maybe 5 days a week, and that would put some stresses on her underlying budget. So, Melinda, and again, this is just for thought purposes, if you have possibly a fee schedule, maybe not for municipal purposes or quasi-municipal, but for private entities that want to possibly use it on a regular basis, that you can charge, that would make it at least cover the town's expenses associated with the staffing and closing up the cleaning. That's all. Thank you.
That's good suggestion, thank you.
Okay, thanks, Melinda. And Melinda, as far as I'm concerned, I don't think you really need board approval. I think you can start using that form immediately, and then we can tweak it as we go along, because there's just a couple things I'm sure everybody's going to point out that they'd like to see on the form. So, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Bear with me. I got to see who else is on here. Jeff Ritter.
Hi, nothing at this time. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Jeff. I saw Mike Dashno's name pop up. Mike, you still there?
Yes, I'm here. I don't have anything on the agenda for tonight.
Okay, thank you. And I think Jackie, you're on the agenda. Let's see. I think that's it. Frank, are you there? Chief Previtt?
Yes, I am.
Do you have anything? Sorry about that.
Just to advise the board, we're in the new garage. Everything seems to be going well. We're not having any real issues. And also, I'm going to be looking for a meeting after the first of the year with the supervisor and our liaison for some ideas going forward regarding the police reform.
Okay. Which would absolutely include the town attorney as well.
Yes. Well, we have to form a committee, so that the initial step, I'm sure the attorney will be on that, or whoever we determine, that's what the meeting will be for.
Okay. Good.
Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So I believe that's it for department head statements. I don't see anybody else on there, so we'll move ahead. And we already took care of Linda Johnson, carryover vacation. Approval of the meeting minutes.
Sorry that they were not done.
Pardon?
Meeting minutes were not done.
Oh, okay. We'll hold that off till our next meeting. Actually, we need to establish our next meeting. Our reorganization meeting will be January 4th at 6 p.m., which is a week from today. January 4th, 2021 at 6 p.m. our reorganization meeting. We don't need to vote. Do we vote on that, Tom?
You should.
Okay. So I'll make the motion for our reorganization meeting to be on June 4th at 6 p.m. January, what did I say? June, oh gosh. January 4th at 6 p.m.
Second.
We have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
Question?
Yes, go ahead.
The reorganization, will that be like a regular meeting or?
Well, it'll be our regular meetings will be on the 11th and the 25th.
Okay, so this would be an additional.
Yeah, so
Okay.
additional meeting. Yeah, you have to do it within such a certain time, so.
Right.
So audit payment, Councilman Bax.
Make a motion to approve the regular abstract claims number 20-01695 to -01903. Recommended payment amount of $584,322.48, plus a post-audit of $10,360.04.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Pending old business, we had a rezoning request for Sauter Settlement Road. We had, let's see. Yeah, and we have a response, the attorney's response, and
We should discuss it first.
okay, so we'll open it up for discussion. I know the last time Councilman Bax, you had expressed your opinion. You requested light industrial from a rural residential, which I don't think is anything that I'm interested in. For one lot right on Route 31. So, does anybody else have any opinions on or thoughts on that? John Jacoby?
To me, it seems a lot like Scott, so many, I don't think we should do it.
Okay. Bill Gatt?
I agree with John. But I think the only way we're gonna have to look whether we need to revisit our zoning map again to see if there's any possible way to expand some business areas and light industry in the town before more residential homes are built in some of our open space.
Right.
Something we should really consider in 2021.
Thank you, Bill. Jason, anything?
Yeah, I agree with this.
Okay, good. So, go ahead.
So just essentially a request for a zoning change like that is a legislative function that the board is not required to take up, and it doesn't sound as if anyone on the board is spearheading that. So unless I hear differently, what I can do is just send a letter to the applicant, the person that's requesting it, and indicate that the board's not at this time interested in taking up that matter. We don't need a motion on that.
My thought is can this objective be accomplished in a different way by the property owner? Possibly a variance to conduct certain activities on the property, or would that not suffice?
I could kind of answer that, Alan. Years past, they would put in for a special use permit, and I believe those were stopped in 2011 or 2012. Tim Masters, are you there?
Yep, I'm here. You're right. It was not 2012, so you have to ask for a use variance because he purchased this property with that zoning. My opinion is self-created hardship. You never meet the criteria for a use variance.
Okay. Thank you, Tim. Does Does that answer your question, Al?
It does, thank you very much.
Okay. So,
We don't need a motion.
and, Tom Seaman says we don't need a motion, we just recommend he sends that letter. So, moving on from that, thank you. Donna, any, new business, residents, public correspondence?
Nope.
Nothing. Okay. We have a retirement. Bear with me. So Bill Tazak, who's been a court officer for several years, he's tendering his resignation. I'll read the letter. Dear sirs, I'm tendering my resignation as court officer in Lewiston Town Court. The 6 years that I've been in this position have gone quickly. The time has come to move on with the rest of my life. I plan on staying until a replacement has been hired and trained to help with a seamless transition. Bill Tazak.
Make a motion to accept with regret.
Second.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Now, I would also like to hire a court officer, a retired deputy that I worked with for a number of years, who's willing to help out. It's a part-time position, and that would be Kevin LaCicero. And he would be hired at the pay of the contract that we just approved a couple of months ago. So I would make a motion to hire Kevin LaCicero to replace Bill Tazak. And I'd say effective, we can do January 4th.
What do you think about the second that motion discussion?
Go ahead.
What Bill said, he would stay on during the transition. Will you have both on staff for 1 or 2 meetings?
I think we're good. We have 2 other court officers, and Kevin is currently a court officer in the town of Pendleton and does exactly the same thing there. So I think it'll be a smooth transition, and I don't believe we would need Bill to train them. We have 2 other court officers that would be able to do the training. Okay, so that, I would say, again, effective January 4th. So we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried. And we already scheduled the reorganization meeting. The solar law.
So, before the board tonight are 2 resolutions. One with regard to the secret determination for your solar law, and another with regard to the approval of the amended solar law. As I'm sure you recall, you've already scheduled and held the public hearing on this. It's been circulated via secret throughout any of the potential interested agencies, and we've heard nothing from anybody. So there's just 2 simple resolutions that I prepared and put before you. The first one is declaring this action to be a negative declaration and authorizing the supervisor to execute and sign all necessary documentation with regard to making that declaration under secret. So, go ahead. Well, that was done. You can add that if you'd like. That was done, and then we circulated throughout and heard nothing from anybody objecting to us as lead agent. So we've already declared that. You asked GHD to circulate, do the coordinated review, and no entities have objected to us being lead agent. If you'd like to, you can declare yourselves lead agent and then authorize the motion for the resolution that's in front of you.
Declare ourselves lead agent for the revised, updated solar energy systems overall.
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Tom, how amended that?
Yeah.
Move to declare a negative declaration for the solar energy
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
And then there's another resolution, the last one is, simply having the town board adopt, what we call the local law amending Article 28 of the zoning code, solar energy systems, and directing the town clerk to file this code with the Secretary of State.
I make that motion as stated by Tom.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Is that Bax that seconded?
Yes.
Thank you, that's all I have.
Okay. I forgot, there's something here from Dave Train, so he was here and he had to leave. So this will still be under department head. He has an employee that's going to be retiring. I'll read the letter. I would like to notify you that I am retiring from my position in the highway department. My last day of employment with the town of Lewiston will be January 18th, 2021. While I look forward to this new chapter in my life, I will miss many of the town employees with whom I have had the privilege to know and work with for the past 36 years. I sincerely appreciate the opportunity to have been part of the town family. And its best regards, Joseph Hosey.
To approve the resignation for retirement with regret and statement of appreciation for his service.
Absolutely. Second.
And that's effective January 18th, 2021. So we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Also, we have a bid here for two Ford F-150 XL four-wheel drive regular cab yellow box, or trucks with a 8-foot box. The bids are all here. There's several bids, and the low bid is Van Bortle Ford for $24,806.28 a piece for a total of $49,612.56. So I'll make that motion to approve the bid from, or the bid from Van Bortle Ford.
And if I can, Supervisor, I'd just ask that this motion be contingent on attorney approval of the bid process. I saw it late, I have no doubt that Dave Train has done this properly through the state mini bid, but I would like an opportunity to look over the documents tomorrow morning.
Okay. Revise that motion to attorney approval.
Second.
John Jacoby, second. We have a motion and a second. Any more questions?
Yeah, this is for Dave Train. I think you answered it in that brief discussion. Thank you.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Engineering, Bob Landry, are you there?
Yes, I am, Mr. Supervisor. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Yes, the only thing that I had on the agenda or for consideration by the board would be consideration of the proposal we get submitted dated December 23rd in connection with the design and bid of Kiwanis Park basketball courts. Would include the replacement of the small half court that's there now, along with a new full-size court parallel to the existing court.
Okay, and that was in the amount of $7,000.
Correct.
Correct. And that includes a full survey of the area. I know it's a wet area back there, so I would ask for a motion to approve. We asked Bob to come up with a proposal at the last meeting, so I'd ask for a approval of his bid to move forward with the basketball court.
So moved.
We have a motion by John Jacoby, second by Al Bax.
Quick question?
Yeah, go ahead.
For some reason, I'm just having a mental lapse there. Is it only to have one full court, or is there another half court?
It's technically like a mini court, so it's a full court with a mini court.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
That's all I have, Mr. Supervisor, unless there's any questions.
No, I think that's it.
Thank you.
Finance. Jackie, are you there?
And you,
Yes.
I have submitted 3 budget revisions earlier to the board, and I'm asking for their approval this evening.
Motion to approve as
Second.
With a motion and a second, any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
I also just wanted to give an update that we have been posting in canvassing for the junior accountant position with no success. We even went to the career services at NU for maybe a grad student, and we did not get any applications through that source either. Civil service canvas, all part-timers that were eligible, and none of them wanted the part-time job. So we would like to advertise in the manner of that.
Okay. We don't need to make a motion for her to advertise, do we?
No. Do you have an idea? Shouldn't cost very much. How much does it cost?
About $234.
No, you don't need a motion for that.
Okay. Then we will.
Might mostly give you an update on.
Okay. Thank you very much. Anything else?
Oh, thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Councilman Bax.
I have the helipad at Mount St. Mary's Hospital. First motion is to accept the planning board's recommendation of a negative declaration on that project.
Motion and a second. Any questions?
For the record, the environmental commission also recommended the declaration.
Okay. Tom, is it the next step just to go ahead and?
Yeah, you can, that's fine that you've done seeker, but in terms of approving the detailed plan, you still need a public hearing, so really the next step after this is to schedule a public hearing,
Okay.
and it can be approved after that.
Okay. We have a motion and a second on this matter. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay. And
Then I'd like to make a motion to set a public hearing for the helipad at Mount St. Mary's Hospital for the detailed plans submitted by the planning board.
Second.
and we'll do January, not June, January 11th at 6 p.m. So just to amend your motion. So we have,
Accept the amendment.
okay, so we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Steve,
Yes.
Jackie did have the POs. She wanted approved also.
Jackie, on the POs, you were gonna wait on that, correct?
Yes,
Okay. Okay.
thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Councilman Betts, is that it?
That's all I have.
Okay, Councilman Guyton.
We have, 3 bids from, first, 36-inch mower. I bid was $1,700. I motion that we accept that bid.
We have a motion, and then we get a second.
Second.
Jason Myers, second. With a motion and a second, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
And
Motion.
one, Bristol mighty mower. I bid was $600. I recommend that we accept that high bid, and that's a motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
The third one is with sadness, we have to let go
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
My other items were covered by the department.
Okay. Councilman Jacoby.
We have from the Lewiston Historical Preservation Commission, of which I'm a liaison, a request to designate a local home as an historic home. Had some discussion with the town attorney and with the supervisors, and it seems that this is not an action that the board needs to take, that this can be done just by the Historical Preservation Commission. So we probably shouldn't take any action, just give it back to.
Just acknowledge it.
Yes, that, should I mention the name of the property?
Sure.
Yeah.
It's Barbara and Chris Keeley's home. It's on Mountain View Drive, and they want of interest. It was built in 1888. It's historically significant, and it's a good idea, and the homeowner themselves are very much in favor of this. So it's not really any problem. It's just a procedural thing that I was unaware of. With that, I guess they'll do it.
Okay, thank you, John.
Okay.
Anything else?
On that topic, I would just note as well that the letter submitted does already indicate that your historic commission has already listed the property as a historic home.
Oh,
So your historic commission already has. So it's really just an acknowledgement of that.
okay. Thanks, Tom.
No problem.
Yes.
I just wanted to ask one question. Does that have any bearing on moving forward with the a sale of the property? Is there any restrictions on it? Like nationally, there's restrictions on historic properties. I didn't know if the town had anything, or the commission had anything that would restrict changing the exterior of the buildings.
You have to ask the town attorney.
You have a code section that does deal with that. And it does, in fact, set forth some provisions that a property owner that has a home listed on that list needs to go through with regard to changing the exterior of the home.
Okay. As long as the owner is aware of that.
In this case, the owner requested it.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
Who's talking to the audience?
Bill Conrad.
Just a quick, justification. The village had an incident very recently where the new homeowner was not realize the home was historic, listed as historic, and they started to do some modifications, and it became quite an issue. So, basically, the buyers got to do a proper search, and know the history of the property and how it's invested. I don't believe the town is required to inform them. Tom, do you agree?
Generally, yes.
That's the purpose of having a search, to find out if there's any restrictions on use of your property.
I mean, the town doesn't necessarily know when a property is transferred within the town. That's a deal that's done between two private properties, so it would be kind of difficult for the town to reach out every time a sale is done to investigate that. That's not the town's job.
But the designation is not the town's responsibility either, correct, Tom?
Well, no, this designation in this case is pursuant to your town code and your town's historic commission. So it is pursuant to the town's code.
But the town board doesn't assess it, it's the town responsibility.
It's the town historical preservation commission, but you're right, it's not the town board that makes that determination.
And just so you know, Al, I mean, as far as talking with Mrs. Maggard, right now, it's only if people are interested in seeking that designation for their home. They're not knocking on doors demanding they make their home historical. So these people were more than willing. They approached the Historical Preservation Committee and they wanted it done to their home. So
I think if the homeowners are the ones initiating this, it makes it easy.
yes, I agree. Yeah, because I think we've all said, if somebody doesn't want it done, I don't think there's anybody on the town board that feels comfortable telling they're going to have it done. I don't think there's one person that would support that. Okay, thank you. Councilman Myers, do you have anything tonight?
Nothing at this time.
Okay. We are at the point now, bear with me, resident statements. So Jennifer, if I could get you to unmute everybody, and I'm gonna ask again if there's anybody from the public attending this meeting that would like to speak on any issue. Okay, I'll say it one more time. You can unmute yourself and speak up now. Okay, thank you very much. Moving ahead, upcoming board and commission meetings. The town hall will be closed January 1st for New Year's Day. On January 4th at 6 p.m. we'll have our reorganization meeting. On January 11th, 2021 at 6 p.m. we will have our town board work session. We will have a public hearing at that time at 6 p.m. And then January 25th will be our regular town board meeting at 6 p.m. I do not have the other dates for all the other meetings. Went through on my agenda.
Yeah, no, they're not on anybody's because they haven't been set, that's what they
Okay,
reorganization
okay.
meeting.
So the rest of the meetings will be announced at our reorganization meeting once they're all set. I would like to say to everybody to have a happy and healthy new year. And I gotta throw this in there, go Bills.
Go Bills.
Go Bills.
Bill,
So with that, I will ask for a motion to adjourn.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? I also want to say one more thing. Jennifer Polly, thank you very much for handling these Zoom meetings. You've done it all year when we've had them. We really appreciate you in the chamber. And just want to let everybody else know that we're going to be taking over our own Zoom meetings after the first of the year. So, thank you. Okay, good night, everybody. Thank you. Good night.